front I was working on. Took out the heat sinks and the finals. Just connected the front end to the preamp to those finals, so that way there's no voltage going in. And we're going to change it around and change the technology. You can see the heatsink missing. And the transistors. It's a distribution amp. I had to clean it. The rain, it got rained on a bunch. But it had one blown fuse. I'll show you that here in a second. Problem with it is that when the fuse, when they did it, it broke. It came in with a bad fuse. So I had to basically solder the fuse to the other side of the board, or not really solder the fuse, but solder the clasp for the fuse or the fuse holder, because those things just popped right off the board when I went to take the other bad fuse off. It just fell off. So, and I just went ahead and bonded them, or soldered it to the rear side of the board, which is fine. Just don't have any thrill issues, okay? Because there's a 120 volts sitting right on that node. She don't play friendly. So don't lick that fuse, okay? Please, for the love of God, do not lick that fuse. Don't touch it. Don't poke it. It'll hurt you. Unless you're like me and you've been electrocuted, about over a bazillion times. It's probably how I survived that thing in Morristown. And you can see the finals. Those are the big, or I should say the finals are gone and the heatsink's gone. Just a big gaping hole. And you can run other amplifiers. See, everything's all been rectified. Once it's rectified in DDC, you can move it around wherever you need it. So if you need to, you can put the amplifier to this thing external to it, which is nice because you're not generating heat. It doesn't build up much. Plus, it runs very, very cool compared to what it used to. I mean, you don't put fans in amplifiers, not here in the desert. Fans in the amplifiers die. And when they die, so does the amplifier. I mean, you should have seen the other amp that we got. It was so hot on those thermals it melted them. But you can definitely see the gaping hole where the heatsink and the finals used to be. Hopefully this thing doesn't whack out too much. But yeah, that's why I said it's a backup running and it lives, because it had a bad fuse, and I guarantee you some of those finals were they looked suspicious. So I just leave all the parts on the board and I just use it. Basically, this is like a testing amp. If you ever need to test electronics or test boards and stuff of that nature, we normally have an amplifier on our test bench or workbench that you can basically do whatever work or development or engineering or design, and that's what it's for. But it's back together and it runs. The FM radio worked. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock, especially with all the amount of water and damage done to the board. So, but needless to say, it's back up and running. I just thought I'd make a quick video on this holder phone. I'll show you older electronics back in the day when you can still service them and fix them and repair them. Nowadays you can't do that. They try to cram too much garbage into a small ass space, and they make it unworkable, unfixable, unrepairable. Just like cars, same thing. So I'm glad to be born in the 70s, late 70s. You know, I can appreciate technology like this, and this is what we were taught how to service. And the reason I had it was because it has a headphone amp right here. The headphone amplifier chip. An IC dedicated to a headphone jack. Wow, somebody went out for that one. Most of the time they just use the finals, you know, with the resistors to feed headphones, but no, somebody went through and dedicated an IC to run those headphones. That's pretty cool. I'm not taking the time of it. Look at that. Look at them old monster transformers. Rawr. Rawr. Awesome, right? Little technology, but no, it works. There's the standby transformer. Make sure you do check the leads on that. On the internet, I checked other people had problems with power on it, so just mine looked okay. I didn't see any resoldering needed. The only resoldering was some of these boards, connectors, the RCA jacks, obviously in the back. You're going to end up resoldering those no matter what. That's standard protocol for all these amps, is basically redo the RCAs. But yeah, this is what I do for my other hobby. Actually, this was my job. I have a degree in this stuff, but needless to say, an amplifier. Yeah, it kicks butt. Here, let me get you the front of it. I could easily turn it on. But needless to say, it works. It's going to be a good, hopefully a distribution amp, because you can see it's got the volume controls for center and surrounds, which is what I was looking for. And it's got the loudness button, which is a very rare item. If you see that loudness button right there, boy, I can appreciate that as an electronics amplifier freak. Anywho, hopefully you enjoyed the little tour of a Teac AV. I think it's a V8500 with the finals and, you know, modernization or conversion into the year 2022. So, pretty cool, huh? Like I said, don't quit your day job, right? Eh? Catch you later. Oh, and go watch Kevin Blanche. And I always stay in tuned.